Hey everybody, I'm Sam Haymart. You're watching Growing Older Gay. This is Kitchen Table for Friday, April 11th, 2025, our weekly check-in where we talk about what's going on at my kitchen table and the kitchen table around my LGBTQ plus fishbowl. I'm still learning how to say that, and it's almost like a tongue twister. I had sex this morning, so my brain's still kind of not. Anyway, so what are we talking about this week? It's a pretty short show, or maybe not. Last week, I had the opportunity to go to what in Phoenix is called the Rainbows Festival. It's like a mini Pride Festival here in town in the spring before our larger one happens later this fall. And I just got to tell you, given everything that's going on in the world right now, it was a wonderful blessing to get out among the tribe and feel the love, feel the fact that we're together, and just be around people that share the journey. And so I just feel like it's worth noting that if you have the opportunity to get out amongst our people in your locale, take that opportunity. It's like a car wash for mental and spiritual feeling. It just really was uplifting. It got emotional. I was walking around and taking in some of the booths and talking to some friends and running into people I know. And it kind of made me emotional a little bit, but it was just a wonderful experience. And I ran into a friend there, Dave Watt, who is part of the Team Friendly organization. And he gave me this shirt here. And this is kind of a throwback to a long time ago, back during the AIDS crisis. Silence is death. And it says, still, because we're living in a time right now that our silence is deadly. And we need to be putting our voice out there. We need to be talking. We need to be acting up. And we need to be protecting ourselves out there in the world with what's going on in Washington and in our society right now. I hate to say it. Silence is death. And if you want to learn more about Team Friendly, they are an organization that's really about HIV stigma and stigma around all sorts of other areas. And we do it to ourselves more often than not. It's not just coming from the outside world. Stigma more often than not comes from within our community. And a lot of times it's misunderstandings, a lot of times it's prejudices, but whatever the case, we need to be stigma free, especially in this time, because for us to speak up and not be silent in a voice that is consistent, we need to be all on the same page. And that's going to be a theme here in this episode just a little bit. So I want to thank Dave for giving me this beautiful shirt. You can learn more about Team Friendly online, links down below, and they're all over social media. It's a great little organization. Actually, it's not little. There's chapters all around the country, as you might see on their website. Now, events. I always like to talk about a couple of events going on. And this one I heard about this week. If you're under 18, I suggest you turn this off. Mount, Palm Springs, May 2nd and 3rd. And this is an event that happens at the CCBC Resort, very similar to Horse Market, if not the same general model. You've got tops and bottoms. Bottoms are blindfolded. And this is more of a cowboy western themed event. You've got cowboys, broncos, ranch hands. And if you're a cowboy, you're a top. If you're a bronco, you're a bottom. And you get blindfolded. And it's implied consent. You sign up, you buy a ticket. You go in, you're blindfolded if you're a bronco, and the cowboy's going to come in and rustle you up. I find this quite exciting, and there's a lot of people that are into this type of event. Horse Market, another competing event out there, or ancillary type event. This is different from that in that it's got a different vibe, it's got a different culture. And they have these around the country. The next one, of course, coming up in Palm Springs. You can learn more about that down below in our information section. There is a link down there to their website, and you can learn all about it. Get your tickets now. It does sell out, and it's a lot of guys, usually well over 100 guys. Next big event, IML in Chicago, International Mr. Leather. Now, we've talked about this before. It's the big event I like to go to every year, and it's the biggest leather event in our country. There are tens of thousands of men and women and people of expansive gender that come together in the leather and kink and fetish community for an almost entire week at the hotel in Chicago. And there are events for 3 to 4 days. There's the contest. There are ancillary events in Chicago all weekend around the event, offsite. And so there's just so much to do. And if you really want to go see where, I mean, get the smorgasbord of all of the people in your community and have some fun. This is the event to go to. I'll be there. If you're there, I'd love to meet you and get to know some of the viewers out there. That is coming up on May 22nd to 26th. There are still tickets available. And as of right this minute, there are still a couple of hotel rooms available, although the Congress Plaza Hotel, the host hotel, does fill up. So just know that if you just show up, you're not likely to get a room there. You'll have to stay down the street. And on IML, I wanted to put a shout out to the latest judge they announced. Now, they had a judge that they had to kick off the committee earlier this year because they found out he had some Nazi fetish and maybe more than fetish in his history. And he was kind of a figure in the leather community. It was kind of a sad situation, an unfortunate situation. That person had to be pushed aside and replaced. And so Paulo Batista is the new IML judge. He is a proud, queer, transgender man. He's in the military, in the Navy. He's based out of San Diego, muscular, handsome. Look at that. I mean, this is a guy that, boing. This is a person that's just really representing not only our community in a very vibrant and bold way, but he's going to be representing our community at IML, and he's going to be a judge for the leather contest this year. So when I see news like this, especially given the situation that he's replacing the other person and just the context around that, I think this is a beautiful thing. So welcome, Paulo, and I hope I get to meet you when we are in Chicago. The next thing, sort of on the same topic around transgender men, gay camping friends. Now, we talked about last week, the Grizzly Pines campground in Texas has a policy where they do not allow transgender men at their men's gay campground. It's just a rule that they have. And granted, they are a private property. They're welcome to have that rule. Just like in America, we are granted our First Amendment rights. We can have our rights. We can say whatever we want, but sometimes there is a consequence to what we say. It doesn't mean we're free of consequences. It just means we get to say whatever we want to say. We get to have a policy if we're a business, whatever that is. In the case of that business, they've been getting a lot of bad press. Well, Gay Camping Friends, which is an online community, over 200,000 members. They've got a directory of gay campgrounds around the country. It is the go-to place for finding out where I can go find a men's or a gay campground to go camping at. And they have instituted a new policy they announced after the Grizzly Pines thing that starting July 1st, if you are a gay men's campground that does not allow transgender men into your property, you will no longer be linked. You will no longer be there for people to click and go to your website. You will essentially be blackballed from this community. They will block the name of your campground from being mentioned on the Facebook page. And basically, you will just be persona non grata. A lot of people out there might find this a little bit fascist. I do not. Just like that campground that can make their own choices and have their own policies, Gay Camping Friends is a private company. They have the right to make their own decisions as well. And I think that given the situation in our country right now where a lot of people are being stigmatized, a lot of people are being shut out just because they are just looked at in a different way than they should be. The bottom line is that Gay Camping Friends is on the right side of history right here, especially in our time. Trans men are men. Men only means also trans men in addition to cisgender men. That's just how it is. And we really ought to be all on that same page. I know a lot of people have their preferences in the bedroom, and we're all welcome to that. But as a community, we need to be welcoming, we need to be affirming, and we need to take people under our wing who are othered. And all of us have been othered at some point in our gay journey, and we know how it feels. And we ought not be doing that to other people within our community. Not stigmatizing, certainly not othering or counting people out. So I applaud Gay Camping Friends for this policy, and we'll see how that goes going forward. I gotta tell you, this transgender men thing has really gotten my heart. And so I've talked about it, and I've gotten some pushback. I see a lot of not always positive commentary. I see a lot of thumbs down on some of the content around making sure we're inclusive of transgender people. I see that. I see it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to take that and go, okay, I'm going to stop saying that. Silence is death. I have a number of transgender friends who I love very much, and they are scared as hell right now. They're scared. They're feeling down. They're feeling depressed. They're feeling stepped on. They're feeling kicked. Some of them are feeling in danger. And in fact, I just saw one friend this week post online asking for some advice on other countries where they can go be an expatriate to, where it might be safe, because they are really truly worried that their long-term safety here in the country might not be all that. And I don't blame them. As a gay man, I'm kind of looking at things and going, I'm going to go make sure my passport is current, and I'm going to make sure that I have some kind of a plan if I need to exit the country in a haste. And I hate to say that. This is a country I grew up in and I love, but what's going on right now out there in this world is not only unfortunate and sad, but it is kind of scary if you're somebody who's not on the right side of the people in power. We really just need to make sure that not only are we standing up and fighting for our rights, but we're still having the dance. We're still having joy in our lives and finding areas, things to do, events to go to that bring us together, because we need to dance. We need to have joy, because without that, what are we fighting for, right? We're not fighting for a meager existence. We're fighting to be joyful, happy, joyful, and free, as we like to say. So there you go, my friends. Another rousing episode of Kitchen Table. You can see our latest video right there. You can also subscribe to our YouTube channel right there. We need a lot of new subscribers. We're a brand new channel, so I encourage you to subscribe and tell a friend. Either way, stay tuned.